Good morning, mate and tutor. Testing and evaluation in ELT. Step 6 Final Exam Colombian Educative Level. Miguel Ángel Muñoz Cero. Tutor Ernest Suárez Alomía. Group 10. SEA Popayan. Program Bachelor Degree in English as Foreign Language. Open and Distance National University in Popayan 28. With Richard Rogers, we have approach and methods in language teaching. We can use different methods as grammar, correlation, translation, and writing method, the audiolingual method, typical audiolingual activities, designer methods, humanistic approach, the silent way, typical technique between others always take into account the multiple intelligence in the children. It's very important to highlight in the different way there is about the evaluation, assessment, approach, and different methods for to do it. The natural approach is, for example, the approach and methods and language teaching seeks to provide comprehensive, comprehensive and comprehensible account of the major and minor trends in language teaching methods from the beginning of the 20th century to the present. The method natural approach is very near with the reality in context. Don't we to do education get out the contextual situation they are studied is only always from the contextual situation in the natural learning and teaching practice in the children. No, the other hand, it's very important to the highlight the Heath Chisholm in 1987 English very specifically proposed. How do people learn? The people learn in a different way. For example, listening, speaking, asking, repeating, seeing and writing, writing and reading. In all in practice, teaching in different language is very important. Take into account that the children and different people for you multiple intelligent they learn in different way. What children is listening music, for example. Other children uh, asking different question about the count, about the nature, about the flower, about the colors, about the people, of the world, the sky. Okay, between hours. In this level, for example, in sixth grade, is very important in the 8, the 10 years old. In this level, the children is able to in, for example, hi, uh, small greetings, tomorrow, bye, goodbye. To do a small question, for example, how don't we study together? Or I need to pass phrases, principal phrases in the context. I need to pass. Uh, why don't we study together? That is a great idea. It's the contextual phrases in daily life of children. It's very important to take into account the approach of evaluation. Should must to the highlight the factor used for each type of evaluation methods and approach. Assessment for English and for specific purpose assessment and evaluation use a truthful a technology tool because many values of highlight in the learning the process and teaching with children in natural approach and natural context, of course. Qualitative assessment provides many values, ideas, experience, highlights rated the tests and comparable questions, understanding of the problem, and institutions the judge a gift and different eras. Capturing the social reality and enhancing its possible from classroom is the most important. I think that in this space, reality, if the experience is the comparable, the question, the situation, the different areas, the relations in shift in social relative in the room in the get out school, maybe quantitative assessment. This assessment is more used for natural and science. Quantitative, 1, 2, 3, 4, in your brain is very difficult for understand. We understand uh, how how much the knowledge there is in the brain in the different children. It's a few difficult. It is only for quantitative assessment. And the second, it was to provide logical standards in educational research, making explicit definitions of facts were of primary importance in the joint education research for to fail in universal trust. That research is more subjectivity because it's very a few complicated. We know how much knowledge there is in the brain of children. One, two in qualification in grades one, two, or three, four, or five. Point in the knowledge for less relation with the area in English area in the learning teacher processes. The other hand, methods and approach. Methods and approach. Methods is the way in the teaching, in the teach, and the teacher uh, go right the children in near of the reality, in the natural, in the context. Is the strict for to arrive at children at the faint with knowledge. Approach. Approach their theories are derived from the areas of linguistics, social linguistic, and psychology linguistic, and are the source or principles and practice of language teaching. For example, in language, we need a structural view of a language. The structure of language allows learning in structured way on the dimension of human being. In this dimension is very important to highlight the practice in the natural context. The practice, the method is natural, the contextualized, the teacher innovation, the teacher creative, the teacher inspirator, the teacher investigator in different fields around the school, around the world, for example. And practice approach generally refer to approach of the teaching or writing, the concentration of different styles of planning, organize and revision. The revision is very important. The teach in the writing is approach is approaches. This approach is step by step in the process in the teaching writing. It is very fast. Now it's step by step in a contextual, in natural approach. The product we have a product when teach is very important. It's very meaningful for the learning in the brain and the brain of children. The brain enjoyed is very significant. It's very meaningful for learn different concepts, construction or building of knowledge in the context, because it's very important uh, for abilities or skill. For example, in writing, speaking, reading. The first, all children, the firstly, they listen. Second, speak. The third skill they development in the context is speak, then reading, and for last is writing. The first skill to develop in the context is listening. Second is speak. In the macros and micros skill. In macros skills is referring to the major skill: reading, writing, speaking, listening, and speaking and listening to the monologue. It's very important as different intelligence, multiple intelligence, there are into the brain of these micro skills refer to the lower level skills that constitute a micro skill. Listen to the monologue, for example, can be broken down into terms such as our ability to identify purpose and scope of a lecture, the ability to deduce a meaning for hours from context. For example, in multiple intelligence, it's very important the alphabet for reading different skills in the brain. There are in the brain in the okay. This is my presentation about assessment approach in methods, taking into account the level in education in my Colombian level in education. Thank you so much for your attention. Bye. See you. Bye.